This is the plaintiff, Oliver Calcano. He says the defendant, his ex-girlfriend's mother, owes him money for car parts he stored behind her freezer. He and her daughter had a bad breakup, to say the least, and the defendant sold the car parts as a way to show solidarity to her daughter and to hit him where it hurts most, in his wallet. He's suing for $3,874.62, the value of his missing parts. This is the defendant, Elsa Aviles. She says the plaintiff moved in with her and her daughter, but she ended up throwing him out of the house because things became very bad between them. She has no idea what the guy's rambling on about regarding car parts hidden behind her freezer. She thinks he's suing her as a way to get back at her because her daughter broke up with him. She's accused of freezing out her daughter's ex.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. The plaintiff says his ex-girlfriend's mom sold his valuable car parts that he left behind her freezer. But she says he's making it all up out of revenge for throwing him out. It's the case of You're So Cold.
Okay, Oliver Calcano.
Yes, ma'am.
You are suing Elsa Aviles, your ex-girlfriend's mother, for $3,874.62 in car parts that you say she stole from you. Tell me what's going on.
Well, I used to go out with her daughter, and I was saving up to go to get a house in Pennsylvania. I had moved in with
you and
Elsa
the daughter
and
moved in with
the daughter.
mom?
And the mom, yes.
Okay, well, it was her house?
Well, yes, it's her apartment. So I moved in temporarily until my house was ready, so we could both move out to Pennsylvania, because we was about to have a kid. Me and the daughter had a bad breakup, and whatever the case may be.
How old was the kid when you broke up?
There was a newborn.
How long did that relationship last?
About a year and a couple of months.
Not very long. Okay.
Not very long.
Was that child planned, or?
It was planned. It was planned for me to get stuff ready to move them out to Pennsylvania and have everything done.
Okay.
After we broke up,
can you give me a general reason what caused the breakup?
just he said, she said stuff.
Okay.
It's like really minor, but I chose to let it go.
Okay, so then you break up and then you move out.
Yes.
And why didn't you take these things you're complaining about with you?
Because at the time that I left the house, I was told not to come back because she would call the police.
But you did come back and you got a bunch of stuff out. So why didn't you take $4,000 worth of valuables with you when you left?
Well,
or when you came back to get stuff?
Well, I didn't. I left with nothing with the clothes just on my back. So when I came back to get all my stuff. And 2 days before me picking up my stuff, she calls me telling me that she's hysterical, crying, saying that somebody broke into her apartment and stole a cart full of meat. And
Who
that's
calls
it.
you and says that?
Elsa Aviles.
Okay.
So I go over there and she's downstairs hysterical. I calm her down, whatever. I come back 3 days later to get all my stuff. As I'm taking all my stuff, of course, that the car parts weighs like 150 pounds. I leave that for last. After I get all my clothes and all my stuff.
Okay, so it is the way I thought, which is that you left $4,000 worth of stuff because you had other stuff that you were taking out. And according to, I just want to get it straight, you left $4,000 worth of parts there to come back and get yet another time.
No, it all happened the same day.
Okay, so at that one shot when you're there, that's when you discover the car parts are missing.
Yes, ma'am.
And what do?
I asked her about it, and that's when she said, "Oh, I told you that somebody had broken in and stole $100 worth of meat in the cart."
Maybe they also took whatever you left behind too. That's what she's saying to you.
That's what she's saying.
But you don't buy
me.
it.
I don't buy it.
Where were the stuff that you left behind? Where did you leave it?
Going to an apartment, to your right, there's like a little hallway. It's like an empty space. So what we did was put a curtain, and I had bought a deep freezer to store meat. Whatever, to not pack up the refrigerator too much. So I put the stuff behind it. Only me and her, not even her daughter, knew about the stuff was there.
Why would her daughter not know about the stuff?
Because I brought it in and she don't care about stuff like that.
What's going on? Where's the stuff?
I never seen no car parts in my apartment. Never. So he's lying.
Why is he lying, do you think?
Just to get revenge because of my daughter.
Why?
Maybe he wants to go back with her.
Oh, I doubt that. They've been apart for how long now?
It's going to be like 2 years.
Right.
Yeah.
So this is no way. I mean, I've heard of people serenading and sending flowers and chocolates, but suing your mother is not a way to get back with somebody. So that doesn't sound right. But did you and he have a good relationship? If he's running down to console you when you're crying about a burglary.
We had a good relationship, me and him. But when he started hitting my daughter.
Hitting?
Yeah. And he also sent me ACS saying that I abuse of my grandson.
His child?
His child.
How old is the child?
He's 2 years old right now.
And how do you know he sent ACS to you?
Because I got the paper right here.
It says that he's the one who sent them?
No, they didn't say, but we knew who he was because the way they wrote it down. And when the ACS lady went to the house.
What was the allegation?
Abuse. That I was.
But what kind of abuse?
Like hitting the baby or, like just...
Did your daughter ever call the police on him for domestic violence?
Yes.
Did the police ever come to your apartment?
Yes. And,
what was the cause of the breakup?
Arguments, hitting. And he almost dropped, when the baby was 1 month old, he almost dropped the baby.
How do you almost drop a baby? What do you mean?
Because my daughter wanted to take a shower, so she told him that to take care of the baby. So he got mad, took the baby, and he went to the other room, and he almost dropped the baby. The baby was so small.
Did you call protective services on her?
I did call child ACS, not for abuse, because she's a drunk. And after I left, her daughter turned into a drunk. They buy 40 ounces. Like, if you see in the TVs, they buy 40 ounces, they stock them up in the fridge, and they drink all night. So I was concerned about my son. I did not say about no abuse. I just said, since I can't go in there, can you go and check for me and see if my son is all right?
I have a question for you. Why can't you go in there? Because they don't want you there, or is there a restraining order?
At that time, there was no restraining order.
Is there a restraining order now?
Yes, there is.
And did you hit her daughter?
No, I didn't.
So does it make sense that he'd leave $4,000 worth of car parts behind and it was a bad breakup? Sir.
I just stepped in. I don't know.
Okay, that's fair enough. What do you think?
I think he's lying. If it was that valuable to him, he would have taken it.
What do you think?
Yeah, if you leave, your stuff goes too.
Is it possible that he forgot about...
No way. If it's that much money, he would have taken it even before his clothing. So it's BS.
Fair enough. Going inside the courtroom.
Did you know about these parts?
No, I didn't know about no car parts in my apartment. I got a picture of the little hallway that I have.
May I see it?
Sure.
And there was a burglary at your home?
Yes, when I went I was doing food shopping. So that day I was so tired, it was like 7 or 8 o'clock in the night. So I went downstairs to eat something. When I came back up, my door was open. And he's the only one who has keys from my house, him and my daughter. So I called the cops, and they said I cannot do no police report because he has the keys, I have the keys, and my daughter has the keys. And they checked the door.
Was there signs of forced entry?
Huh?
Were there signs of forced entry? Did someone break the door down, or someone went in with keys?
Nothing. I went with key. The cop said it was no damage to the door.
So what do you think? You think he stole your meat and therefore you stole his parts?
For what I want car parts. I don't even have a car.
I don't want car parts. Maybe you could sell them. I don't know.
No, I don't need no car parts. I don't have a car.
How do you know that? I mean, your ex and you had a contentious breakup. Mm-hmm. Then you had a contentious custody battle, which is why you waited to sue on something that happened. How long ago did all this happen?
2 years ago.
2 years ago. And you waited to sue because you wanted the custody battle decided first.
Yes.
Okay. How do I know she didn't steal the parts instead of her mother? You can't prove this case, honey. You can't prove this case. I mean, this is why I tell people all the time, well, they tell me I couldn't get everything out at once. Okay. But, you have one shot to get everything out so that we don't have this kind of problem. I don't know if you left that stuff there, if somebody else took it, if, yet another person besides the two of them took it, if she took it, if the daughter took it. I just don't know who took it. That's why I always recommend to everybody who's moving to move so we don't have all these issues coming up. Move all at once, get the cops in there. Before that night when you're walking out, You say, okay, fine, I'm going to move my stuff. I'm going to, do what you got to do to get the valuables out of there. But, people tell me, oh, I left my jewelry in there. Well, I was saving that for last. Or I left, a valuable watch. And really, why? If they fit in that tiny little thing, they're not that big. So I don't get it. If it's $4,000 in this tiny little thing, take it with you that day. Put it under your armpits. And whatever it is you're taking that, the first time when you're walking out with the clothes on your back and the $4,000 under your armpits. But the bottom line is you have the burden of proof as a plaintiff in a court of law to prove it happened the way you're saying. If I believe you that you are missing stuff and I believe you that the stuff is valuable, I still got to believe she took it for you to win. Verdict for the defendant. Because there's just no proof.
So yes, the car parts are missing, but who actually is responsible for having thieved them?
Well, she knows she took them. She knows it was there. And
how can you be sure it was her?
She has a neighbor that's a drug addict that works in a music store that knows about the value of the parts. And
that's not proof, though. That's kind of circumstance. That's not proof. There's a difference between suspecting and really proving.
Well,
as you know, you want to raise this son as your child, but they have to be included in that. How are you going to do that?
Well, that's why I'm going for custody battle. I got my own house. They live in the projects. I got everything. I got a job. They're on welfare, and
You want him away from it?
I want him away from it.
All right, right down this way. Okay. So step in here. You feeling on the outcome here?
I'm very happy I won this case.
Mm-hmm.
He's a liar, and God is with me. So,
where do you want the child to be raised?
Me and my daughter.
You think he's better off there than with him?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Why do you think that?
Because we take care of him, we don't abuse him, we spoil my grandson.
All right. Good luck.
And he's loyal to right.
Harvey?
Thank you.
We've talked about this before from time to time. Common sense is really important. The way you conduct yourself in the middle of a dispute is going to be very important if you end up in court. A judge is going to look at your actions and ask, does it really track with his story? In this case, it makes no sense that something this valuable, $4,000 worth of car parts, are just going to be left behind in the middle of a bad breakup. It's something the guy would have taken. So common sense should dictate how you conduct yourself, what you do and what you don't do when you're in the middle of a dispute.